Hey, good Saturday evening, everyone. It's a special weekend edition of Weather for Weather Geeks, and I'm doing a video because our forecast that we put out last night, it needs a little bit of a tweak. And when I posted on social media last night, I said check back often over the weekend because our map that we had last night, our snow map, was our first stab at this storm, and surely it would need some updates over the weekend. And sure enough, the models this afternoon are more aggressive with bringing in the accumulating snow Sunday night into Monday morning with somewhat higher totals looking more and more likely. So let's show you why we're kind of gaining confidence that these amounts will be a little bit higher. Here's a look at the timing of things. Here's the European model starting at 1 a.m. on Monday. So in the middle of the night, some of the light precipitation will be approaching from the south and west. It's probably going to get in really in the wee hours of the morning on Monday morning. Here we skipped ahead to 7 in the morning, and this is when our light snow will really be getting going, and road conditions will probably be deteriorating. So plan on some tough travel at times. I think from around sunrise or just before sunrise into a good chunk of Monday morning. Now, by Monday afternoon here at 1 o'clock, the back edge of the precipitation is approaching from the west. It may snow pretty good through about lunchtime on Monday, but then afternoon, 1 o'clock, things are going to wind down pretty quickly with snow tapering off to flurries and a really strengthening northwest wind developing for Monday afternoon and evening. As the temperature starts to drop, boy, is it going to start to feel really nasty outside. So that's kind of the timing. Snow begins middle of the night on average, I would say between 3 and 5 a.m. It will wind down and pretty much end by early afternoon. And the height of the storm, the worst weather, the worst road conditions from roughly sunrise, about 7, up until I would say about 11 or noon. So that's kind of a time frame for you. That was the European model. Now let's talk about accumulations on the models and why we're becoming more concerned about the higher totals. Just showed you the European timing. Now let's take a look at the European model snowfall forecast. The legend over here on the right, I'm going to remove my video capture from this so you can see it a little bit. But when you start to see the purple color showing up, that is 6 inches or more. And so we're talking about the European predicting, a fair amount of a pretty good stripe, that is, of 6 inches plus from northern parts of Kentucky right through maybe Columbus, Zanesville, Cambridge, Dover, New Philly, and right up into the Mahoning Valley with this storm. Now, the European is the most aggressive model when it comes to snowfall accumulations. And one of the things we look at is not just what we call the operational run of the European model, but the ensemble forecast of the European model, which takes the main part of the model and runs it 51 different times with 51 different, slightly different initial conditions. And that creates a variety of solutions because you're changing the ingredients that go into the model. Well, why do we do this? Well, we can never sample the atmosphere 100% correctly. So by tweaking different variables, temperatures, humidity, pressure, things like that, you account for the inevitable errors that are going to occur when you try to model the atmosphere. So instead of just looking at one version of the European, here's 51 versions, and the ensemble mean out of those 51 versions is a little less than the operational run. The operational suggests we get about 6 inches in Youngstown, and down here the green is the ensemble mean. It's a little bit closer to 4.5, which is a number that I'm going to repeat a few times, 4 inches, because I think a lot of us, that's about where we're going to end up with this storm. Here's the GFS taking us out through Monday evening. You'll notice no purple showing up here, but some darker blues. And I do think that the GFS would certainly suggest anywhere between 3 and 5 inches is looking pretty likely. Canadian model, very similar to the GFS. No purples, no 6-inch plus areas, but some darker blues and certainly 3 to 5 inches advertised by the Canadian model for most of the WFMJ viewing area. I do think that your odds of getting 5 or 6 inches increase a bit as you're heading south and east away from Youngstown. So Newcastle, perhaps over towards Calcutta and East Liverpool, and the Pittsburgh area perhaps, and then heading up to the north into maybe southeastern Mercer County. I think your odds of getting 5 or 6 are better than the rest of our viewing area. Okay, here's the the NOAA, or the Weather Prediction Center, a entity affiliated with NOAA, the National Oceanographic, boy, I can't talk today, Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. The odds of 2 inches or more have really shot up today. This peachish color here is 80 to 90%. So we're looking at, according to their forecast, and I agree, 80 to 90% chance of at least 2 inches across our viewing area. Here are the odds for more than 4 inches. And according to the scale over here, we're looking at about a 50 to 60% chance of more than 4 inches. Then when you jump up to 6, the odds really go down, but still they're in the about, so let's see here, 20 to 30% range on average. So that's what they have to say as far as odds. The last 4 runs of the short range ensemble forecast, the SREF model, with each successive run, pretty much the amounts have gone up. So now we're looking at a mean on that ensemble model of about 2.5 or so. Still lower than some of the other modeling, but the trend has been up, that's for sure. All right, here's the forecast map we went out with last night and this morning. This is as of Friday night, Saturday morning. What we're probably going to do, and I've talked things over with meteorologist Mike Joyce, who's on duty at the station this evening. What we're going to do is drag this 4 to 6 area back to the west to get approximately the southeastern half of the WFMJ viewing area. So that would include the southeastern half of Mercer County, the southeastern half of Mahoning County, and the southeastern third or half of Trumbull County, as well as the eastern half of Columbiana County. So just to kind of recap, basically, essentially from southwestern southwestern Columbiana, through about downtown Youngstown, up through Mercer, the borough, and then heading into northeastern parts of Mercer, anywhere southeast of there, we're going to be in the 4 to 6 range. North and west of there, so Newton Falls, Mespo, maybe Craig Beach, and west of Austintown out towards Lake Milton, you're probably going to stay in the 2 to 4 inch range. But ultimately, what I do think is going to happen here is a lot of places in the WFMJ viewing area, especially the southeastern half, are going to be very close to 4 inches out of this. Not many places in our viewing area will see 6. I can't rule it out, but I think most of us will be closer to 4. But at this point, we're making this change because I think Mike and I both think that 2 is pretty much in the bag at this point. We're going to get 2 inches of snow. It's just a matter of how much more. And so since it's on the table that some of us might get a little more than 4, we're going to drag that 4 to 6 area back to get a good chunk of our viewing area. So that's what we have coming up for Sunday night, Monday morning, and then after that, look out. I mean, Tuesday is just going to be a brutal day. Even in January, this will be a brutal day. This is a look at the temperatures, but also the flow of air. Here we are down here, and this is Tuesday's flow in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. It's called a cross-polar flow. Up here, that's Siberia, Russia. The air goes over the North Pole, right down through Canada and into the U.S., so it is a direct shot of air right out of the coldest part of the entire northern hemisphere. And if this were January, we'd probably be talking about highs on Sunday around 0 with low temperatures of -20. Now it's November, so we're probably looking at low temperatures in the teens, high temperatures in the lower 20s, and wind chills no higher than the lower teens probably on Tuesday, a lot of time in the single digits. So it's going to be a harsh, harsh day Tuesday. The snow that we're going to pick up Sunday night, Monday morning is not going to melt anytime real soon. It'll start to melt late in the week and into next weekend and into Thanksgiving week, but it's certainly going to stick around and not do much melting for a couple of days after Monday. All right, no 6 o'clock news tonight on WFMJ, but Mike Joyce will be on tonight at 11. Be sure to follow him on social media. Put meteorologist in front of his name, and Mike Joyce is at Mike Joyce WFMJ on Twitter. He's on duty at the station. He'll keep you updated. I'm going to sign off for now. I'll do another one of these videos on Sunday if the forecast needs some more tweaks. I wish you luck as we deal with our first pretty major snowstorm of the 2014-2015 winter.